From a young age, we have been told money is the root of all evil. That is something to be feared, something that causes problems. But what if I told you this idea is misleading? Do you think all these people like Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Ratan Tata, and even millionaire content creators like Ali Abdaal are evil people? You see, money is not evil. It's merely a tool, and the way we use it, now that changes everything. Money is something that we all think about, whether we are trying to make more of it, save it, or invest it. If you realize the way we think about money matters more than how much we actually have. It is our mindset that shapes our financial success and even how happy we feel. In today's video, I'll break down 10 powerful lessons from Morgan Housel's book, The Psychology of Money. The lessons that can reshape how we think about money and how you use it in your daily life. These are not just abstract concepts, these are insights that can change your financial mindset, just like they did mine. Lesson 1. Risk and luck. The role of chance in your financial life. We often hear stories of self-made millionaires and assume it's all about hard work and smart decisions. But Morgan Housel points out that risk and luck play a huge role in your financial lives. Some people get lucky while others take all the right steps and still face setbacks. Here is a very interesting story. You all have heard about Steve Jobs as Apple's co-founder, but how many of you actually heard about Ronald Wayne? Ronald Wayne was the third co-founder of Apple. Wayne was instrumental in drafting the original partnership agreement of Apple and even designed Apple's first logo. But he famously sold his 10% stake in the company for just $800 after only working 12 days. Today, that stake would have been worth $345 billion. So why did he walk away? Wayne was concerned about his financial risk. Steve Jobs had taken out a $15,000 loan to fulfill an order from a retailer with a shaky reputation. As the only founder with significant personal assets, Wayne feared that if the business failed, the debt would fall on him. Unlike Jobs and Wozniak, who had little to lose, Wayne faced the very real possibility of financial ruin. This fear led him to sell his shares, a decision that today seems unimaginable. Looking back, easy to see Wayne's decision as a monumental mistake, but at that time, he acted to protect himself from significant financial risk. His story is a perfect example of how luck and risk often go hand in hand. Let's take another example. Dhirubhai Ambani was the founder of Reliance. He started as a small-time trader in Yemen. He took enormous risks, borrowed money, and entered industries no one thought he would succeed in. But a key factor was his timing. The Indian economy opened up just as Reliance was growing, giving him the opportunity to turn his risk into unprecedented success. But for every Dhirubhai Ambani, there are hundreds of others who took the same risk and failed. This isn't just to downplay their hard work or skill, but it is a reminder that external circumstances play a significant role in our success and money. This taught me a valuable lesson. While it's essential to work hard and make smart decisions, we must also acknowledge the role of luck and risk in our financial outcomes. Sometimes things are out of our control, and that's okay. Compounding, the eighth wonder of the world. Albert Einstein once called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. It's the idea that small, consistent investments can grow exponentially over time. But here's the catch. Compounding works best when you give it time. Take the story of Ronald Read. He worked as a janitor his whole life, and yet when he passed away, he had amassed over $8 million just by investing small amounts over time. Patience is one of the world's greatest strategies. I've learned this the hard way. In my 20s, I was more focused on immediate gains than long-term growth. I would jump in and out of investments hoping to make a quick profit. But it wasn't until I started leaving my investments alone, letting them grow year after year, then I saw the true power of compounding. If there's one lesson to take away from this, it's that time is your best friend when it comes to building wealth. Lesson 3. Wealth is what you don't see. Here's a lesson that really changed my perspective. Wealth is what you don't see. We often equate wealth with expensive cars, big houses, and luxury items. But the true wealth is invisible. It's the money you have saved, invested, and kept for your future. Now let's talk something we all face: social pressure. The pressure to keep up with others, to show off off success through material possessions. There is a stigma in many societies around living frugally or below your means, especially when you are surrounded by peers who flaunt their wealth. It is easy to get caught up in the comparison game. I have felt it myself, seeing friends buying new cars, move into bigger houses, or go on lavish vacations. There is an unspoken pressure to match that lifestyle, even if it means stretching yourself financially. And it is just not me. When I speak to my daughter who goes in a secondary school, she has a similar peer pressure to catch up because all her friends seems to have bigger brands like Louis Vuitton, New Balance, and she's trying to actually adopt that lifestyle. So I had a very frank conversation with her on that perspective about money and what wealth actually means. But here's the thing, many of those who appear wealthy are often living paycheck to paycheck. They might have high incomes, but they also have high expenses. Meanwhile, the people who are truly wealthy are often those you least expect. The ones who live life modestly, drive older cars, and save or invest their money instead of spending it all. The lesson here is simple. Don't spend all your money trying to look rich. Instead, focus on building real wealth, the kind that gives you security and peace of mind. True wealth isn't about what you show the world, it's about what you keep it to yourself. Here's a very important aspect of wealth. Let me explain this with an example. We often think that wealth is about having the money to spend, but the true wealth is what you don't spend. Imagine you have $100 right now. You are richer by that amount. If you go and spend $75 on something, you are only left with $25. You are no longer as wealthy as you were before. The more you spend, the less wealth you have. Real wealth is what stays with you, not what gets spent. So building wealth is not about how much you can buy, but how much you can keep and grow. And this is the secret of most of the rich people. Lesson 4. No one is crazy about money. Let's start with something simple yet profound. No one is crazy about money. What does that mean? It means that everyone's financial decision makes sense to them, even if they seem irrational to others. We all have different experiences with money, shaped by factors like family background, upbringing, personal history, society, country, life stage, and individual goals. For example, someone who grew up in a family where money was always tight might view spending on non-essentials as reckless, while another person who grew up with financial security might see it as normal. These experiences influence our decisions deeply. Take societal influence. Someone living in a country with high societal safety nets might be more comfortable taking financial risks than someone in a country where social safety net is weak. Or think about life stages. A recent college graduate with student loans might prioritize debt repayment, while someone nearing retirement might focus on wealth preservation. I used to think people who spent lavishly on luxury items were irresponsible. When I learned about their background and what money meant to them, I realized they were not crazy. They were just influenced by different life experiences. So before you judge someone's financial choices, remember that decisions make sense to them given their unique circumstances, which could be completely different from your personal circumstances. Lesson 5. The paradox of enough. One of the most profound lessons in the psychology of money is understanding the concept of enough. It is the idea that more money does not necessarily lead to more happiness, especially if you're constantly chasing it. In our society, there is often an unspoken belief that the more is better. More money, more possessions, more success. But this endless pursuit can lead to stress, dissatisfaction, and a constant feeling of never having enough. Have you ever bought a new phone only to see a newer model come out a few months later and feel like what you have isn't enough anymore? Or maybe you get a promotion at work, but then you start eyeing the next raise, the next title, the next milestone. It's a human nature to want more, but the paradox of enough is that this endless chase often leaves us unsatisfied. If you're always focused on what we don't have, we miss out on appreciating what we do have. I used to believe that making more money would solve all my problems. I would work extra hours, take on the side gigs, always aiming for the next pay rise or bonus. But as my income grew, so did my desires and needs. I found myself constantly upgrading, getting a new car, moving to a bigger house, buying the latest gadgets. But instead of feeling satisfied, I felt trapped in a cycle of wanting more. And that is a very dangerous trap. It wasn't until I started asking myself, what's really enough for me, that things changed. What I needed was financial security, time with loved ones, and the freedom to pursue my passions. I quite enjoy painting. I never used to get into that because I was constantly in that chasing mode. Housel reminds us that the most important financial skill is knowing when you have enough. It's not about settling. It's about recognizing that at a certain point, more money or more stuff won't improve your quality of life. In fact, it might do the opposite, adding more stress and less fulfillment. This is one of the most important lessons from the book, The Psychology of Money, and I really loved it. Lesson 6. Freedom, the ultimate goal of money. What's the real purpose of money? For many, it's not just about buying things. It's about freedom. The freedom to make choices to live life on your own terms. For me, the most significant financial decisions was not about making more money. It was about making enough to give me the freedom to do what I love, whether that's spending time with family, traveling, or just having peace of mind. Housel reminds us that the true wealth is the ability to wake up every morning and say, I can do whatever I want today. That's the ultimate goal of money. Lesson 7. Tail risks, the extreme events that define your outcome. In finance, a tail risk is an extreme event that's unlikely but can have a huge impact, like 2008 financial crisis, World War, Russia and Ukraine war, or a pandemic like COVID. These events are rare, but they are what shape our financial lives the most. And I have experienced this firsthand. During the 2008 financial crisis, I saw many people, including myself, face severe financial setbacks, cash crunch, investments tanked, and savings drained. It was a wake-up call for me. That crisis taught me the importance of being prepared for the unexpected. I started building an emergency fund, money set aside specially for those what-if scenarios. It wasn't easy at first, but I made it a priority, putting away a small amount each month. Having that cushion not only gave me a peace of mind, but also helped me to avoid making desperate financial decisions during tough times. Tail risks are real, and while we cannot predict them, we can prepare for them. What's the key takeaway? Building a financial plan that's strong enough to withstand extremes, not just average. Save consistently and make sure you have enough set aside for those unexpected moments. Lesson 8. The seduction of pessimism. Why does bad news sell? Because pessimism is seductive. It feels more believable than optimism. And when it comes to money, we are often drawn into negative predictions, recessions, market crashes, inflation, COVID pandemic. But here is what Housel points out. Over the long term, optimism tends to win. Let's rewind to 2008. During the global financial crisis, fear was everywhere. Stock markets were crashing. Banks were collapsing. Lehman Brothers, remember? And the people were losing their homes. The media was flooded with grim predictions that the world economy might never recover. People panicked. They sold their investments, pulled out of the stock market, and held on to whatever they had left. But here's the thing. While pessimism was everywhere, the markets did recover. In fact, the US stock market has grown more than 400% since its lowest point in 2009. I used to be cautious to a fault, missing opportunities because I feared a downturn. But once I started focusing on the bigger picture, I learned to trust the process and long-term trends. Being aware of the risks is important, but don't let them stop you from seeing the opportunities that exist all around you. Whether it's your career, investment, or personal growth, a little optimism can go a long way. Optimism may sound like hope, but is often the strategy for growth. Lesson 9. Room for error. Importance of margin in your financial plans. Another valuable lesson is the importance of having room for error in your financial plans. Life is unpredictable, and even the best plans can go wrong. I have made the mistake of planning my finances down to the last penny, leaving no room for the unexpected. That way, Housel emphasizes the importance of having a margin of safety, a financial cushion that allows you to navigate the unexpected without derailing your plans. The personal finance experts always recommend having an emergency fund. A cushion of 3 to 6 months of living expenses ensures that when the unexpected happens, like a medical bill, job loss, or sudden financial hit, you are not thrown off the course. According to a survey by Bankrate, 28% of the Americans have no emergency savings at all, leaving them vulnerable when things go wrong. Lesson 10. Confidence versus humility. The final lesson is about balancing balancing the confidence with humility. Confidence and humility are two sides of the same coin. One propels us forward while the other keeps us grounded. It is important to believe in yourself and your decisions, but it is equally important to respect the uncertainty that comes with any financial choice. I've learned that overconfidence can lead to mistakes, especially when investing, but too much caution can paralyze you. The key is to be confident in your ability to make decisions while also be humble enough to admit when you are wrong and adapt from that lesson. Housel's message is clear. Approach your financial life with confidence. Always leave room for humility. It is this balance that will guide you through both the highs and the lows. So there you have it, 10 powerful lessons from the book Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. These are not just tips. They are insights that can reshape how you think about money and how you manage it in your day-to-day life. Remember, money is not just about numbers. It's about the psychology, emotions, and the life experiences. Understanding this can be the key to not just financial successes, but financial peace of mind. If you found these lessons valuable, make sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. And if you're looking for more in-depth discussions on personal finance, check out the playlist linked here. Thanks for your time, and I will see you in the next video.